All right, I am coming at you live for a couple really quick hair tips for the winter. Winter, your hair can be a little extra dry and it can kind of suck the moisture out. And so these are some tips. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't heard them before. Some of them were new to me. And so these are some things that might help you with winter hair. So number one is if you're gonna go outside in the cold, it helps if you put your hair in a bun or a braid. Because then your hair will be less exposed to the cold air, and that will help it to keep its moisture not be just sucked out of your hair. That is one I hadn't thought of before. Another one is try not to go outside with wet hair. Now, the reasoning behind it is something I hadn't heard before. So I had read that if you go outside with your hair wet, your hair has water on the inside of it. There's 3 layers to your hair, and it can have water on the very inside. Well, if you go outside and that water freezes and expands, it can cause damage to your hair, and it's like at a micro level, but if it happens enough, it can actually cause like visible damage to your hair and make it harder for your hair to be healthy and moisturized. So I thought that was really weird and interesting. So try not to go outside with your hair wet. I like to wash my hair personally at night. I think it just kind of dries better when I'm sleeping. I don't know, maybe because I'm not moving around as much, but that was a tip I had heard. Another one is you might have to switch to a different conditioner. So a lot of conditioners, specifically volumizing conditioners, are sometimes light and they're fine for you in the summer, but you need a little extra in the winter. And so sometimes you need to switch to a thicker, more moisturizing conditioner in the winter to make sure your hair is getting all of the moisture that it needs. You might also want to add in a leave-in conditioner and hair masks. So leave-in conditioner I like to use like on the in-between days, especially right now. My hair has been cold and dry with being outside. So adding in that leave-in conditioner on your in-between wash days can help to make sure it's getting the hydration it needs, as well as adding in like maybe once a week doing a mask treatment to get like that deep nutrients and moisture replenishment. So I like to do that. Another tip is using a silk pillowcase instead of a cotton pillowcase. So cotton will actually draw out moisture from your skin and your hair. And so if you use silk, it will not do that. And it also will not cause friction because it's so slick, and it won't cause frizz for your hair. I have switched to a silk pillowcase and it makes a huge difference. Whenever I'm somewhere else and don't have my pillowcase, I always super notice I have way more frizz in my hair. So it will not take all the moisture out of your hair and it won't cause frizz. So I love silk pillowcases. Another amazing tip is rinse your hair out with cold water before you get out of the shower, which sounds awful. And I don't always do it, but if you rinse with cold water, it helps to seal that conditioner in. It helps to seal your hair cuticle, and helps it not be frizzy or staticky when you get out of the shower. So that can really be a good tip, is rinsing with cold water before you get out of the shower. Hopefully you can bring yourself to do that. I cannot. Another thing is like adding in an oil. So I have recently had to up my oil treatments. I noticed the last couple weeks I hadn't really done them and I started getting some dandruff, and so that is just something I have to be more conscious about now, is making sure that my scalp has, sorry, I got a call, so that messed it all up. Okay, so is oil treatments and getting your scalp moisture what it needs, because I have a really dry scalp, and if I don't replenish those things, then it's evident. So that's another thing, is adding in oil treatments. And my last tip is heat protectants. The best thing to do is cut back on your heat if you can, but if you're still gonna use heat on your hair, make sure you have a really good protectant, because obviously using heat can damage your hair at any time, but it can be especially damaging if your hair is extra dry because of the weather. So those are some tips. Drop a comment if you heard one that you hadn't heard before and will be helpful, hopefully, for you to add in to your routine for healthy hair. So that is all I have for today. Thanks. Bye.